Hello, hello. I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and welcome to today's monthly YouTube hop for a cherry on top crafts. The theme for this month's hop is food, so I am going to be creating a super fun and super yellow banana card featuring some of the products from the Lawn Fawn February 2025 release. For this card, I'm going to be using the Build a Drink Blender add-on die set, the Treat Cart Sentiment add-on Smoothies and Juices stamp set, as well as some other things that aren't lawn fawn. I'm going to be using the yellow gingham pattern paper from Echo Park Paper Co., as well as the banana daiquiri embellishments from Picket Fence Studios, since I will be making this a shaker card. As soon as I saw the Build a Drink Blender add-on die set, I knew I wanted to make it a shaker card. Somehow, I didn't know exactly what I was going to put in the shaker. At first, before I got it, I thought the little banana die cut it comes with was going to be small enough, sorry, that it could go in the blender as the shaker element, but then I got it and it's a little bigger than I thought. So then the next time I placed an order on a cherry on top, I searched banana in the store and the most perfect thing came up, the banana daiquiri Picket Fence Studios embellishments. It was one of the first things that popped up, and I immediately added it to my cart because I knew it would be perfect for this card. The embellishments are so fun as it has little polymer banana slices in it. So it goes perfectly with the yellow background and the bunch of bananas I glued on at the end. So it was the perfect find for this shaker card. As for the paper I used, which is the yellow gingham Echo Park paper from the Gingham Pastel collection, it was in the news section. I was looking for some kind of pattern paper to go with this card. I wanted it obviously to be yellow and to match the banana themed that I was planning. And then in the news section, I saw the Gingham Pastel collection, clicked on it, and then there was this perfect yellow gingham pattern paper. And that also went into my card immediately because I knew it would look really nice with the banana theme. To start actually making the card, I started by die cutting all of the elements from the Blender die set, just using some scrap colored cardstock. That's the thing I love about scraps. I am very much a paper hoarder. I keep almost all of my scraps just off to the side, all color organized, because I'm always thinking I can use this for something. And then it's little things like this that have the tiny die cuts that I get to use them for, so it's quite satisfying. But anyways, I die cut them all from the colored cardstock just using the Spellbinders Platinum Scout and then set everything off to the side on my glass mat, trying to keep it organized for when I go to glue it all together later. I will say that's one thing I really like about the glass mat that I am using is it has it's a mixed media section where I guess you can kind of split up different colored paints you're using and whatnot. But especially when I'm die cutting, I like to use the squares on the side or the grid on the side to kind of keep me organized. So I'll separate all the die cuts into the squares to keep it kind of sorted. A lot of the times now, when I'm die cutting stuff, I usually die cut from alcohol marker friendly cardstock so that I can then color the die cuts using the alcohol markers. However, for this blender, I just wanted to keep it pretty simple and I just used plain, simple colored cardstock. However, I did decide to die cut the bananas from this die set using an alcohol marker friendly cardstock as I wanted to color them and have it be a little different than the blender. Also because I just wanted to color the bananas. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Something that I love about this die set is that on the back of the packaging, which you see on the screen here, they have a preview image or kind of a sample of how to assemble it with all the different colors, which I love it when packaging for die cuts has this, as it makes it a lot easier to figure out exactly what pieces go where. So as I was die cutting everything, I just kind of kept that in my work area so that I could reference it. Since I already mentioned this is a yellow banana themed card, I decided to make the blender yellow as well. So I used a darker yellow cardstock as well as a lighter yellow cardstock for some of the accents on the blender. You will see that I die cut the frame of the blender multiple times from gray cardstock. I believe here I die cut it 4 times, This is so that since I'm making a shaker and the shaker element is in the blender, I die cut it that many times so that I could kind of build up a wall to accommodate for the shaker element so that it will actually shake. However, as I was gluing it together, I decided I wanted to add a few more layers just to make sure that the shaker would actually shake. So I think I die cut four here, one of which is the top layer, and then die cut two or three more layers. I can't exactly remember off camera and just glued it down when it was time. As for the shaker window on this blender card, I used the cherry acetate sheets to die cut from the die set. The sheets come in a pack of 10, 8.5 by 11, and they're really good for projects like this. As I already mentioned, I decided just to color the banana die cuts for this card. I die cut the blender with the regular cardstock, and I die cut the bananas with the alcohol marker friendly cardstock. So to color the banana die cuts, whenever I'm coloring die cuts, because especially if they're small, they can very easily get all over the place. I can lose them. So I grab a scrap piece of cardstock. You can see here this one is just I've taped things to this one before. I use it to test color combinations, but I put a piece of tape onto the cardstock, put the die cut onto the tape that's on the cardstock, and then color the die cut. The colors I'm using for this are just a very simple yellow color combination. A Cherry on Top Crafts does carry a few different brands of alcohol markers. If you want to check those out and try them, I will be sure to leave links for those in the description. A few of the sets that have some nice yellow color combinations are the Altenew Artist Alcohol Markers. The Firewood Garden set has a really nice yellow blend in it. There is also the American Crafts Honeycomb Alcohol Marker set. It contains 3 yellow colors that are, again, perfect for creating a nice blend. If you want to do the brown, like I did on the ends of the bananas, there's the Choco Brownie Essentials Alcohol Marker set from Studio Light, which also features 3 brown colors. So there are quite a few options to choose from. Now for gluing everything together, I decided to glue all the pieces to the blender before I glued it onto the card itself. I just thought it'd be a little easier since I am gluing all those frames stacked onto each other onto the card. I wanted to have the top layer of the blender glued so that it could just be glued right on top of the shaker embellishments once they are on the card. For this, I'm actually trying out a new glue. I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive Glue. It comes with, as you may have saw there, I have a new tool that I am very much enjoying. I'm so excited to finally have it. I'm using the My Sweet Petunia glue press. The Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive Glue comes with the glue press, so I get to try out the glue, which is, I've been wanting to try out the glue for a while, with a new tool that I've also been wanting for a while. So it's kind of exciting. After gluing the blender together, I then moved on to trimming down the paper. Now this is a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper from ACOT. As I already mentioned, it is the yellow gingham paper from the Gingham Pastel collection. Now I didn't know exactly what size I wanted to cut the paper down to. I ended up going with 4.25 by 4 inches. You can kind of see me measuring it out with the card, figuring out exactly how much of the card I wanted the piece of paper to take up. But that is ultimately what I settled on. Now, something I did not realize about this piece of pattern paper until I actually went to glue it down was that I thought it was the same exact pattern on both sides. Now, it is a yellow gingham on both sides. However, on the reverse side, it's actually a smaller, a slightly smaller gingham pattern. So I hadn't realized that when I bought it. I didn't realize it when I got it. I didn't realize it when I was showing it to the camera when I first started the card. I only realized when I went to glue it down that it's ever so slightly different. After figuring this out, which you actually see me flip the paper a few times because I was confused at first, I decided to glue it so that the smaller gingham pattern faced out and would be the main background for the card. From here, I started to glue down all of the layers of the blenders that I die cut earlier. As I mentioned, here I'm gluing down 4, but I decided to die cut a few more just to build up a few extra layers to allow for the embellishments to sit properly in the shaker. However, since it was just me die cutting the same piece several more times, which you already saw earlier in the video, I just decided to not include that, and it just magically appeared. Something I do want to say about this die set, as well as the stamp set, is these two Lawn Fawn products that I'm using are actually add-ons for other Lawn Fawn products. The blender is an add-on for the Build a Drink die set, and then the Sentiment stamp set, which you will see pop up here shortly, is a add-on for the Treat Cart stamp set, which I don't have either of the primary sets that these coordinate with. However, you can very much use them on their own. The blender is perfect on its own. It would be very cute with the main set, which is maybe just me using it as an excuse to get the main set. But then the stamp set, it is a smaller stamp set and it's oddly specific, but it goes really well with the blender. So these two sets pair pretty well together. And of course, when pairing them together, they are perfect for the food theme of this month's hop, which is even better. Now for the embellishments, you might have seen as I was putting them into the blender, I was being a little picky with which ones I put in. I didn't realize before I started putting them in that some of them are actually quite thick. Like some of the embellishments are quite big and just would not fit in. So I took those ones out and just put in the banana slices as well as a couple of the smaller embellishments because I didn't want to die cut too many more frames for this blender. I didn't want it to be an inch off of the card. That would look a little funky. So I just picked the smaller embellishments for the card. Now to finish everything off, I stamped the We Blend Well Together sentiment from that stamp set onto the card and then glued the bananas beside the blender. You might notice there's a little bit of a mark as I'm stamping the sentiment. That's just because I had glued the bananas on and then realized I wanted to stamp the sentiment first. So I just took off the bananas and glued them back on after. And that is the completed card project. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for links to all the products I used, as well as a full list of all the design team members participating in this hop, and to hop along for a chance to win a $25 gift card to shop at A Cherry on Top Crafts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.